Well, Mr. King, I know you are in your way to a congress about peace and peace problems. You are yourself in the forefront of the political and social scene in the United States. And do you think there is a ready-made answer to the problems of peace or of racial conflict? There is a solution, a one-word solution?
Well, I don't think there's a ready-made answer, but I certainly think there is an answer. If I did not feel that there was an answer, I certainly wouldn't work as hard for peace and for racial brotherhood as I'm trying to work. I think the answer is for every individual to respect the dignity and worth of all human personality. And I think the answer on the international scale is for every nation to respect every other nation. There will be differences, there will be conflicts, but we've got to come to see that these conflicts can and must be solved without violence. The day for violent conflict is over. The more we have this, the more we threaten the very survival of mankind itself.
But do you think the issue is mainly a political one or a moral one? The solution would be a political solution, an institutional solution, or a personal solution, a moral solution?
I think it's both and. I think it's certainly going to have to be moral if it's thoroughly solved, because after all, morality is doing the right thing. But since we do live in society and since politics are very real, then any solution would have to be in the political realm, in the sense that society, through its political leadership, will come to negotiated settlements of conflicts, for instance, and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be both political and moral if we're to have a thorough solution.
Well, about the Congress you are going to, what's it about, really? It's a private Congress.
That's right, and its purpose is to discuss peace. It's based on Pope John's encyclica entitled Pacem in Terris, which means peace on earth, and we will assemble there to discuss alternatives to violence and ways to move toward greater paths of peace and understanding, not only in the Vietnam situation, but in all situations where there is possible conflict, like the Middle East, which is presently in the midst of a possible outbreak, and all these other areas of conflict. Our main purpose there is to try to find some means of coexistence. Since we've got to learn to live together in this world, the question is, how do we develop true coexistence?
About the United States, your country, well, in foreign countries, we tend to exaggerate, perhaps, the conflicts in America, because they are spectacular and they are, well, sometimes violent even. And so perhaps we exaggerate them, and we underestimate the capacity of the American people to solve their problems. Do you think they are in the way of a solution in America, the racial conflict? Do you think?
Well, I would say that we've made some very significant progress in race relations. There's no doubt about that, particularly in ending what we think of as legal segregation, where the Negro is concerned. But we still have a long, long way to go. I would not overlook the fact that we are confronted still with some very difficult problems. The important thing is that we are moving. The Negro himself is more determined to be free than ever before. And I think as a result of this determination and many other forces working together, we're going to be able to solve the problem. But I do have to admit that we still have many, many things to do, and we still have a long, long way to go.
To achieve a pacific, a peaceful solution, you don't think the riots or the more violent kind of demonstration is a way of solving the problems?
No, I don't think the riots can really solve the problem. I understand why these riots come into being, the conditions in our society that make people so frustrated and so cynical and even so desperate that they engage in riots, but I don't see a riot as the answer. I think riots create many more social problems than they solve, and I think they are self-defeating and socially destructive, so I don't think they will solve the problem in any way. I think the ultimate solution will be through persistent, insistent, demanding pressure, but at the same time on the plane, on the level of nonviolence.
Well, I'm very grateful to you for your words and your patience, and I would like to ask you a final question. All your political action is founded on principles and on a certain view of the world and life. Well, if I should ask you to summarize your fundamental belief in the matter of running a society, what should you say to me is more important in the scheme of things?
Well, I think one thing that I live by, or the one belief that I live with, is that all reality hinges on moral foundations, and that the more individuals and nations adjust to and live in accordance with the moral principles of the universe, the more we move toward not only maturity of thought, but the more we move toward a mature society. And it is my hope that all over the world and in every nation we will learn to live together as brothers, because I'm convinced that if we do not learn to live together as brothers, we will all perish together as fools. And the first thing on the agenda of mankind must be this quest for togetherness, for understanding, for compassion, and for brotherhood.
Thank you very much. I won't bother you anymore.
Thank you.
Very grateful to you.
You're quite welcome.